All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live right now. We are going live. We are breaking live, I should say, because we have a rather very dangerous situation unfolding in Illinois right now. We have a line of potential embedded supercellular activity along a quasi-linear convective band that's making its way through southwestern Illinois with a left mover definitely producing a tornado right now just out in front of this. So I had to break live right now to start covering this. I've even changed the title of the video tonight. It was going to be more of a hot wash of what is happening today. However, in this case, we're going to go full send into what it is that's happening right now, because there's a lot of stuff happening. There's quite a bit happening. It's a very localized area, a very localized geographic area that's being hit by this right now, but it is quite spectacular what it is that we're seeing. Let me get my Epic pen out of the way so you guys don't have to pay attention to that. If you look, we have our quasi-linear line echo wave pattern that's moving through southwestern Illinois. But then if you notice, we have a left-moving supercell that just got absorbed in the pattern. Here we have a right-moving, excuse me. This is a left-moving supercell of the pattern, the environmental steering flow. We have more discrete activity forming up right over top of Ramsey. This is likely going to go tornadic as it approaches Pana and Shelbyville towards its north-northeast. That's going to be very interesting. Looks like a system trying to get its act together up near Winchester and Jacksonville that we need to pay attention to, and this is only the start of it. This is only the start of it, and I'd imagine that we are still going to go downhill as the sun stops shining, but right now it is 6:02 in the evening over there, so we still have at least 2 more hours of daytime heating that's going to take a little bit to dissipate, so this is going to continue for an extended period of time. Yeah, this stuff out here is definitely going to go severe warned just out ahead of it unless it gets absorbed in it. This could potentially be another left-moving scenario. This cell right here is the one that I'm very, very concerned about. That one looks like a dangerous bad boy. It's moving against the environmental flow. It's moving to the left of the steering pattern. It's right over Staunton right now, and I believe how close are we had mentioned just a second ago that there was a CC drop, a correlation coefficient drop in this system. Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely right there. You can see it. Definitely a radar-indicated tornado. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a confirmed tornado. I don't have observations or storm spotters on my overlay right now. I don't want it to be too congested, but look at all this embedded rotation along this line. There is a spectacular amount of rotating cells embedded within this line. We have an area of weak rotation here, 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 here. Down here might be a little bit contaminated by how close the radar is. It might be in the cone of silence there, so take that southernmost node with a grain of salt. We are very close to the St. Louis radar. This general area is what we're paying close attention to. I believe we've had 2 confirmed tornadoes in that spot there as of right now, and it's only going to continue to ramp up as we get through the next hour or so. This is the one right here, though, right over Staunton that I'm watching closely. The other night, I was talking into TRG Tornadoes stream, and he didn't know what I meant by V-notch. This is a V-notch right here. It's kind of blurred and washed together, but there's your V, indicative of incredible updraft divergence at the top of the storm, which shows it has very good upper-level exhaust in its feature. There's your core. This is where your greatest hail core is funneling down, or I should say funneling up, the updraft core, and then here's where the tornado is likely to be, right up in through here at the base, if not the northernmost extent of where your hook echo is. Let's see how well that lines up on the CC. Or actually, we can just use storm relative velocity and try to find it. Yep, right in through there. You can see the inbound flowing and then the outbound flowing, so right in through here is where your twister is going to be without a fraction of a doubt. Really good rotation up and through there, really good rotation up and through there, really good rotation down there, and then really good rotation down here near the greater St. Louis area, which is definitely. These are extremely populated areas, too. We're not passing through rural regions of Illinois, which is the scary part here. All right, it looks like we discontinued one of our tornado. Actually, I wasn't paying too much attention to that. The polygon, as James Spann would say. Was that a tornado warning that just went out, or was that a severe thunderstorm warning that just went out? We'll also switch over to our MRMS. Come on down towards Texas. We have Twister Chaser 1 in hot pursuit of these puppies down here in Texas. These standalone systems looking very impressive. In fact, the southwestern storm is looking even stronger now. And I'm surprised that there has not been a tornado warning put on either of these bad boys. Supposedly there's some contamination going on with these cells, but I'm not too sure exactly where it is the contamination is occurring, because I keep switching between different radar sites, and number one, we aren't close to any radar site. There is no beam blockage. There is no side lobe affecting the radar, so I'm not too sure exactly what's going on here, why they haven't issued anything. The only one that does look like we could, no, even this, we're in a pretty good field of view right here. So I am not sure what is going on, why we don't have anything outside of the severe thunderstorm warnings on this. I've been looking at the velocity, especially on this one, and there's definitely, oh, it looks like we got two of them now. We've got two of them, two embedded mesos. I got to get Nick on the phone or something like that. Definitely got to get Nick on the phone. Sorry, forgive me, folks. I'm texting him right now on Instagram. He's sending me shots of really good looking mamatas. Really good looking mamatas. So there are two potential mesocyclones embedded within these two individualized discrete cells in Texas. They're all by themselves too. So we hit the nail on the money, or we hit it right on the money in terms of our forecast earlier. Nick, Twister Chaser 1 on Instagram and other social media handles have been talking about this earlier today. I told him just to the west of Waco, Texas is where you want to be today, and there you go. So this would be a wonderful chase opportunity for him. I hope he's taking full advantage of that. We're going to go back up towards Illinois, because Illinois is definitely going blitzo right now. Let's switch over. Let me go to a different radar. I want to get one that's away from all that action so we can actually see a little bit more. Go over to our CC correlation coefficient. Yeah, right there you can see this is not the most adequate radar to be using because this is a little bit of a distance away, but right there is what we're looking. That's what we're looking at right there. Let me get a little bit closer. I'll use the St. Louis radar. Might as well. That's still far enough away to where we're not going to get too deep into the weeds of being too close to the radar. Where is the radar? Oh, there it is. It's staring at me right in the face. There we go. There's that guy. If you can't spot a tornado using this product, then, well, I don't know what to tell you, but there she blows, literally. Wow, look at the outbound on that. Outbound is really accelerating. That's right on the edge of that quasi-linear line. And then here's that other one up near Raymond. Is there a CC drop with that one as well? Not as of yet. It's trying, though. It looks like there might be right over Raymond, but that's a little out ahead of where that supercell is. Wow, that's spectacular. That is wild to see. Wild to see. And that's that left mover right here. That's the left mover that's still holding on. I bet you the VIL values in this thing are unprecedented through the roof. Yep, they are maxed out. Maxed out. That is incredible. And there she is right there. Does that line up really well with the hook? Yep, right at the base of that hook, or right at the tip. Can definitely see it. So this one's no longer producing a tornado, or at least if it was, yeah, it looks like it's starting to fall apart if it was. This one, we just lost that really definitive CC signature. Yeah, we've got a bounded weak echo region in here now. And when I say bounded, look at these weaker reflectivity surrounded by all these stronger ones. There's your left mover supercell trying to merge with this line of activity over Mount Clair, Gillespie, Dorchester, Wilsonville, Bunker Hill. Warden is getting smacked right now. There could be a rain-wrapped tornado right there just to the south of Staunton. That's another thing, too, is these are very high precip. It's not good because these are high precip storms right here. So you're going to have a difficult time trying to spot them. These are also going to produce some really gnarly straight line winds. That's for sure. Straight line winds are going to be a huge issue. If you come over to the storm relative, you can see the twister area a little bit more definitive, but if you switch over to your base or high res velocity, look at those values. Those are extreme convective winds coming off of there. So regardless of if you're seeing a tornado in your area, you're likely getting some sort of low end, if not moderate damage just from these straight line winds in of themselves. And we might actually see it. It looks like they just extended this whole area for tornado warnings, and that makes sense because as these winds blast through, and you could see it too on the velocity, you have a perfect looking line echo wave pattern, just wave after wave after wave, and what that indicates are your rotating cells. I just realized my camera's pointed up at a weird angle for some reason. There we go. April Brooks, how close are we, Weather Florida Man? Twilight Firefly, welcome in. CWTDF, thank you for joining us. We are early, but we wanted to break early because, number one, there's a lot of stuff happening, and I'm not going to miss this opportunity since I'm off work now. Finally, I've been watching this stuff all spin up as we went over the last couple of hours, and on top of that, I got to be up at 3 a.m. tomorrow. So I'm probably going to end this live stream, whereas we would typically be starting it. Weather Florida Man, which one are you going for? Oh, Benton, Illinois, going north to get in front of this, just north of Carbondale. Let's see. Carbondale. I'm struggling to find it. I'm not good with the localized... Oh, there's a Pocahontas out there. Pocahontas. That's funny. I'm going to get to the east of that. We're dominating. Yep, we are definitely dominating. I would say if you're going to get in position, you might want to try to get up towards, let's see. Staunton is getting blasted right now. Let's take a look at the CC real fast. Can't really see anything. What about the ZDR? Do we have ZDR on here? We have differential reflectivity, SDP. There's your hail. Massive hail falling. Hail and very, very heavy rainfall. That's for certain. So there are your cores. Those cores are not something you want to mess with. Can definitely tell that's not good. Those are extremely impressive thunderstorms. Strong thunderstorms. Differential reflectivity. Let's see. Can we see it now? Looks like there might still be a little something right here. You can see a larger majority of our hydrometers right there, which is basically your precip, whether it be actual ice, frozen precip, or liquid precip, right up in through here. But then look at how there's a nice little stark contrast between the two here and here. Also right in through here, just to the immediate west of Staunton. That's very scary. There could possibly be two rain-wrapped tornadoes on the ground right next to each other. Look at that crap. Pardon my language, but that is wild. That's not good. Whoever's chasing up here might have two twisters right up on top of one another. It looks like there could be something embedded here and one still right there, and the CC is not doing us a very big favor. It's not doing us a favor. Not helping us whatsoever. I mean, there's a little something right here and a little something up here, but that doesn't line up too well with what I'm seeing elsewhere on our differential reflectivity. The differential kind of helps us out just a little bit more. Right there specifically is what I'm seeing. What other radars do we have on here? Or what other hydrometer classifications? So there's your hail, heavy rainfall. So yeah, if anything, it looks almost as if we could have a funnel in there and a funnel in here within, can't be more than 10, 20 miles of one another. There could be two twisters right next to each other, which is a very scary thing to think about because we're not exactly passing through a low-end area, as I'd mentioned previously. And then there's your line echo wave pattern. Could snip this and put it in a textbook right there, just flowing through there. Where is the new tornado warning? This big line of embedded rotations remind me of the moderate in Louisiana a week or two ago. Yeah, now that you mentioned it, that makes a lot of sense. Let's go back down, check on Texas real quick, because Texas looks like it's starting to spin up as much as it can. This stuff is not doing, like, what is happening down here? There's nothing going on here with these cells. I mean, they look very good, but it's almost as if they're frozen in time. Are they even moving? What is going on here? Oh, they are very, very slow movers. Wow. No wonder why. Velocity is still looking fairly impressive on one of them, this northern storm, for sure. And then what about in Louisiana and Mississippi? What is going on over here? All right, so we have discontinued the 1 tornado warning. We just have a severe thunderstorm warning out for this cell here. This was previously tornado warned. You can kind of see what's left of it. Remnant rotation between Satarsha and Bentonia. Those are mouthfuls. There it is. Oh, there's still some really good rotation on that, too. Look at that. Not saying that's a debris ball, but it almost looks like it. Look at that bad boy. I'm surprised they dropped the tornado warning on it. What are they doing? As a matter of fact, yeah, why did they... I guess they can probably look at different elevation slices in comparison to what I'm using right now. That's the one thing I don't like about this radar. I have not played around with it enough to look at the different slices that we can see to see exactly how elevated, non-elevated, how broad, how concentrated the circulation is. But that still looks kind of tornadic. I would definitely, if I were Mississippi, the National Weather Service, or Central Mississippi, I would definitely keep my eyes on that second by second. I would not take my eyes off of it. Huge area of tornado warnings. That is incredible to see. Let's go back to Instagram, see what we got going on here. All right. So, while we are watching this, how's everybody doing? Because, I mean, now we're in the thick of it, so we may as well take a second to take a breather and just say hello to everybody. Go southeast. I can't do that. No time. I'm 10 minutes south of Mount Vernon. I thought I just saw that on radar here. Oh, excuse me. So sorry for yawning. Wow, it's been a very, very long and somewhat emotional day, to tell you the truth. I had the craziest epiphany this morning, and I was just an emotional wreck for like a solid hour. I'm not going to disclose the details on it because that's just getting a little too personal for what this live stream is right now, but let's just say, shucks, I got whacked upside the head by the Mike Tyson of epiphanies. No, I agree. The more they wrap up like this, that might help our case just a little bit. There's also strong stuff still moving in down towards the south. Wow, this one was rough. Not tornadic in nature, but look at the reflectivities on that one that just moved through Salem. I don't know if that was... oh, there we go. Look at that hail spike. Did you guys see that? Let me kind of go through and bam, look at that. What? Dang it, come on, Radar Omega. Why'd you just skip through? I paused it on the frame for a reason. Never mind. Well, anyways, did you guys see that hail spike? Look at that. Really good hail spike off of both of these storms. Right there and then right there. Excellent looking hail spikes off of those bad boys. That is incredible. Maybe that's what we were seeing. That's why the reflectivities went so high, was the beam reflecting off of all the hail inside that storm. So there's probably some massive hail falling in those puppies down there, or at least were anyways. I still find that insane. Look at that right mover and left mover coming together. We might get a little bit of an MCV forming up out of this, truthfully. And look at this guy. Really good rotation right there. That could have been a long tracker for sure. That is insane. I wonder if we're going to get an MCV to form up on that. That looks like it's going to go tornadic any moment now. It could be anyways. I don't know. Jacksonville. Looks like it's trying to. Either that or it's just a very, very weird appendage that's sticking out of it. Nah, never mind. We are a little far away from it. Let me try to switch the radar and get a closer look. No, it's too far. Not too far away, but it's also not really pinging anything. This is our area here. I wonder if we can spot something on satellite that is causing all this, because I'm wondering if we're going to get an MCV out of this. With the way everything is converging right there, I wonder if this whole area is going to develop some cyclonic curvature to it, and we're going to get a mesoscale convective vortex. It would almost seem like it. This is a nice area of straight line winds, almost like a wannabe derecho. It's not a real one because it's obviously not bowing out and flowing outward like a bomb going off, but shoot. All right, let's transition back down towards this. There it is. Finally Finally, what you guys been sleeping for? Sheesh, I would have warned this a long time ago. Now they finally put a tornado warning on it? Good heavens. I mean, yeah, now it definitely looks like it's wrapped up. Actually, yeah, you can really see some pronounced rotation. It looks like the outflow, the exhaust on this has bled into that updraft right there. Look at that. You can see it. I mean, get my freaking pen instead of getting all excited about it. Look at how the outflow, the exhaust off of this one is bleeding in. So what that's doing is increasing the localized temperature gradient inside that supercell, and that's what's helping to consolidate it, because you have that cold outflow from the downdraft probably wrapping into the indraft. I just lost my meteorology card. Revoke it. Somebody take it from me. The indraft. The indraft. I got a message, Nick. I can't type to save my life. There we go. So Nick is going to posture in Lampasa as I'm ready to tell him to head just a little bit further to the west. Locations, Mount Vernon. Mount Vernon. Vernon of the Mount. Mount Vernon, Illinois. There it is. All right. Is this where you are currently? If you are, you want to definitely head north and fast. You definitely want to get north, because you're going to miss a lot of the action where you are. Because even though it looks like they're heading due east, these individual lobes are going to continue to move up the line. They're going to be moving north-northeast, just like this left mover did, and these systems are starting to do. Look at that. This one right here was very impressive. That one right there. You could see that that was 100% a rain-wrapped twister right there, for certain. I don't even have to look at anything else. You can just see it. Little tiny micro-scale hurricane-looking thing right there with a nice center. I wonder if the CC shows a CC drop on that as it's moving off from the west. Let me press play. No, not too much. You can't really see it too well. But there was definitely something inside of that system earlier. That is for certain. I'm waiting for Twister Chaser 1 to get into this live stream because I want to keep advertising for him. I'm about to call him up or live stream on Instagram or something like that. There we go. I told him to start live streaming on Instagram, so this way I can go ahead and jump in his live stream and narrate at the same time. That's incredible, though. That is wild. This is one of those instances, Metallica, Alabama. Hope all is well, Nazario. Finally getting a chance to watch some of your live stream. Hey, it's good to see you. I've been thinking about you and a few others who haven't really been in here consistently as much recently. We had Carmen finally make a resurrection and pop in here not too long ago. I've seen your tropical outlook for the 2024 Atlantic hurricane season. You forgot to do the comparison to the SSTs back in 2020 around this time of year to the SSTs in 2024 in the Gulf of Mexico. I haven't really forgot. I just really haven't wanted to. I haven't wanted to do too many comparisons because right now the Atlantic is in a very volatile state, to tell you the truth. We have a lot of African dust out there over the eastern tropical Atlantic that's actually killing a lot of those very hot SST anomalies, and it has people questioning whether or not we're really going to have anything spectacular happen this hurricane season. And I think a lot of folks are really dumbing down the hurricane season, to tell you the truth. It's like people go from one extreme to the other. They're like, oh, the SSTs, oh, the dust, oh, this, and that. And you guys got to remember there are so many other variables on top of just those small instances that we mentioned right there that are going to impact the level of activity that we have. Oh, yeah, there she goes. There we go. Yep. There we go. If Nick is down in Lampasas, he needs to move straight up towards Lomita, and that is going to help. That's going to intercept for sure. I can't type. Autocorrect. Stop. About to turn autocorrect off when I'm trying to spam messages to people. So Nick is posturing down here towards Lampasas. And I'm telling him right now that if there's a tornado in here, it's moving right through Lomita for sure. As a matter of fact, let's take a look at our CC, see if we see anything on this. Nope, not as of yet. It would be moving right through Lomita right now. What does the relative velocity look like? It's really consolidating. We definitely have a wall cloud or a mezzo out there. That is for certain. Yes, I agree. Twilight Firefly, you're being a genuine sweetheart in the chat right now. I love that. I mean, it looks like CC's trying to drop right around where that hook echo is. Hook echo? The heck are you trying to say, David? He's probably not going to respond or do anything because he's probably booking it. He does not want to miss this opportunity. Let's go back up to the north here towards St. Louis. This stuff is just going nuts. That whole area is just, that whole thing is just a whirlpool of spin. Easily, easily, easily. Look at all that. Look at the storm relative. Super Charas has spawned into the chat. I love it. Thank you very much for joining. It's going to be a very, very intimate crowd tonight for sure. In fact, we're probably going to take our eyes off of this severe weather activity in about 10 more minutes because really there's no one that we're covering down for. You got to start spamming me in the messages. Start private messaging me a bunch of different pictures and video. I'm waiting for Nick to do something. Oh, he sent a live video. There we go. All right, now he's live. All right, so I have Nick on Instagram right now. His live video paused. I just sent a request to join it so we can jump in there. Seems like he's experiencing just a little bit of lag, but he is headed right towards this cell right here. So forgive me, folks up there in Illinois. We are going to go live down south into Texas. How far north in Illinois is this going to go? It's not going to go too far to the north. Today is the first day I've had time during the day to watch some live streams. Right now I'm laid back enjoying the show. Oh, very good, Metallica. That's good to hear. My schedule has been all over the place as well, and actually my schedule is going to be changing hopefully within the next couple of weeks. I'll be getting off earlier so I can actually start doing a little bit more with the content and actually stick to well-prepared live streams and maybe go back to making some more additional videos as well. His live video is struggling right now. Trying to send a request to get in the live video. How's everybody else doing? How's everybody else doing in the chat? Will, to answer your question, though, it's not going to go too much further to the north into Illinois. We got to make sure we track where our low pressure and our warm front is, because that's going to be the big kicker. Oh, his live video ended. What the heck? All right, whatever. Anyways, he's headed towards Lomita, and he can see a wall cloud on the ground right now. So this is definitely interesting. Let me just message him real quick. Sabrina Marshall, welcome in. Thank you very much for joining us. That Lomita cell is getting strong. Nick better stay on top of that. All right. So that Lomita cell is definitely blowing up. What does the storm relative look like? Sheesh, yeah, that thing is consolidating. It's going to move just to the east of Lomita if there is something embedded within this. Oh, look at that. There's a little bit of a drop starting to happen. He needs to pay attention. What the heck is he doing right now? I'm about to just call him up if you guys don't mind. I'm ready to call him on the phone or on Instagram and just start talking to him. Let's go back up towards Illinois real quick. Will, to answer your question, as you can see here, if you look, we are right along the warm frontal boundary. And if you think about it, as this low continues to move towards this direction, because it's not going to move any further to the north, really, the trajectory. Let's see, Nick, there it is. There he is. Pardon me, guys. We're going to get a live storm chaser up here. Oh, wait, why am I lagging now? Yeah, I just saw that. Why am I lagging?
Hey, your phone's messing up. I got to call you back. It's coming right at me.
Yeah, you need to stay put because it's getting stronger, too. That's.
I'm not going in there, yeah.
All right, yeah, just stay put.
I'm ready to bail if it turns nasty, and it looks like it's about to drop one, dude. I see a big wall cloud. I got rotation on the side.
The CC is dropping in that thing, too, right around where that weak echo region is, headed right over Lomita. It's got an incredible updraft on it, and the system down to its southwest is starting to hook out as well, but sheesh, the velocity on it is just going up. It is really, really well wrapped up.
I'll take it seriously.
Yeah, do it. Definitely take it seriously.
No, I'm going to sit here, and as it comes at me, I'll retreat back south.
That's a good idea. Very good idea, because it's crossing Lomita right now. All right, dude. Yeah, that one off to the southwest is also getting stronger as well. Look at this. We could have two tornadoes right next to one another. His phone sounds like it's dorking up. This one looks like it's trying to unravel itself, though. Excellent gate-to-gate shear. Excellent gate-to-gate shear, but it is not as consolidated. Either that or it's going high precip, and we're starting to get a little bit of that contamination that we were talking about earlier. These are very impressive storms right here. Yeah, I agree. This one is probably going to get tornado warned here any moment now. It has to. It has to. The velocity on this is really... That's not a really good image of it. There you go. Look at how consolidated this velocity is. That's right on top of each other. That's what you want to see. This, not so much. This is still a really good TVS, tornado vortex signature, but that's not as impressive as this. I mean, granted, that could be a strong tornado. This could be producing a stronger tornado. In fact, I'm very glad that he said that he's going to take this very serious, because that's a very extensive wall/mesocyclone that could be really close to the ground. Excellent V-notch. Like, this is an incredible storm right here. If I had to pick and choose, I feel bad because I know Illinois is getting slammed and thrashed right now, but this would be what I'd be on. I would most definitely be on this storm right here. That is a gnarly supercell. Both of these are. You've got all the wide open range that you could ask for as well, because this is not a very populated area and they're all by themselves. So they have nothing that's going to impede their development. In fact, they're going to feed off of one another. This is something we want to keep close eye on as well. We're going to go back up towards Illinois real quick. Oh, there it is. I see it. Yeah. New tornado warning even further off to the south. That makes sense. A new severe thunderstorm warning. This could possibly go tornado as well. I see some rotation trying to take place. Oh, never mind. That was just the radar signature. Oops, let me not get excited. It looks like there's a little bit of something trying to turn up in there. No pun intended. I'm not trying to sound all slangy. Oh, yeah, there it is. You can see it. This is extreme, too. Reflectivity is almost off the threshold. Maxed out, almost completely maxed out. These storms are probably going to go tornadic as well. That whole line is going to be tornado warned because it is just nothing but a rotating mess. It is just a full-on rotating mess of shiz for lack of better term. It's all blurred together now, no. We really don't have much in the way of discrete activity anymore. It is all meshed together. This area is just spinning. In fact, it almost looks like it's going to try to weaken now. This northern sector of it could start trying to slow down a little bit. Everything is washing together. We're going to have updrafts colliding with one another. It's going to create its own little micro-scale shear. So we'll see. We'll see if we lose the tornado warnings to the north there. It looks almost like they're going to try to weaken. Let's go back down towards Killeen, Lampasas. I don't think we've had an update on this just yet. It's definitely trying to do something. This one is looking very impressive. Both of these are very impressive storms. Both of these are. The one that's over Lomita looks like it's trying to disintegrate almost. It's hard to tell. It's such a broad area of rotation, but nice and circular as well. The vorticity just isn't being stretched out, it looks like. Wait, can I change the tilts? Oh, I can. There we go. Okay. So we can go up. Look at that. I just figured it out. Let's go up and see what the rest of the rotation looks like. Tilt 2. Yes, I mean, that's a very consolidated meso right there, a very consolidated supercell. Let me see if Nick is back up and running just yet. Doesn't look like it yet. He is doing his best, though. Doing his best. There we go. All right, he's live again. Sorry, guys, for the delay. I'm not lagging. I'm watching live stream. Oh, look at this. Look at that southern storm. That southern storm is exploding. Or that southwestern storm, I should say, not southern storm. This one's really coming together. Alfalfa Bill Enjoyer, welcome in. That southern storm, the reflectivities of the velocity on that is really kicked up. What's going on? Thanks for having us in the stream. Oh, yeah, that system is...
I think I'm about 2 minutes away from moving position. Check this out. Look at the Madamus.
Oh, hell yeah, that is gorgeous. That is a clear sign of just how much cold air is wrapped up in the uppermost levels of that storm.
I can't see if there's a funnel, but it's got deviant motion in it, man.
I'm looking at the base velocity, and there is a ton of rotation in it. The one off to your south and west is also really heavily consolidating very quickly.
I can't believe all these people are just driving into it.
They probably don't know any better.
I wonder, can you see what side of the highway the rotation's on? On Highway 183.
Yeah, I'm looking at...
pointed straight, I believe, west right now, or northwest.
Straight northwest. It looks like there's going to be if there's going to be any kind of funnel appendage, it's probably going to be to the left. So the west side. Oh, and he's lagging again, just as I was about to relay some information to him. Did you catch that?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, because you've got your outbound flow pretty much right over the highway. You've got the outbound flow, and then the inbound is coming across running parallel to 183 on the western side of it.
Okay. And is it curving in back towards Austin, or is it curving back towards the hill country? Like, is it going this way?
She's a right mover. She's moving to the right of the flow, so actually kind of headed almost due south.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Right mover. Damn.
Yeah, I can see it.
I can't zoom in on it, but man, it keeps knocking me out. But it looks nasty over there.
That you're looking right at the core. The core is probably going to come right over you. You've got a really good area of energy that's going to cross the highway here in maybe another like 5-10 minutes or so. And then that hook echo itself is moving down. It just passed Lomita, and it is due south of that fork in the road where Lomita is positioned.
All right, hey, I'm gonna get off this live for a minute. I'm gonna try to get some pictures, and I'm gonna reposition again.
Yeah, definitely. You'll want to move back down towards the south. Just want to try to follow it because it should, as it weakens, it's going to start to move back with the flow. So I'd imagine it's going to start shifting more east-southeast.
Okay, cool. That'll work. All right, later.
All right, later. Damn, you guys see that other one, though? The other one is really starting to pop off, too. That other one, I'm surprised we don't have a severe thunderstorm warning. I'm surprised we don't have a tornado warning on this one. That is a very impressive area of gate-to-gate shear. In fact, it almost looks like that one's feeding off of the one in Lomita, and it's starting to weaken. Got to get another radar. That one might be a little too far. That is too far. We're kind of in a radar-scarce area. I think this is going to be our best bet. This one is really ramping up. I mean, the Lomita cell still looks like she's really doing her thing, but it's a very broad area of rotation now. It needs to reconsolidate. It needs to come back together. Let's go back up north. I could be wrong, honestly, guys. I could be wrong. That northern node, not mode, I'm calling it a northern node, could possibly stay strong because now that I look at it, those discrete cells that are moving in from the north are going to help to increase the localized shear with that system. So those two areas underneath the tornado warnings that they just extended forward, they could continue to maintain themselves very well. And you can kind of see it, too. It's very impressive. You can see how the main line of rotating storms is moving almost due east, and those discrete cells are wrapping in along the back side of it. That could be a little bit of an indication of your rear inflow. Very impressive thunderstorms. That one near Springfield is still holding on. It looked like it tried to start spinning, or yeah, a little bit there. Looks like it picked up just a little bit of spinach, as they like to say. And then for folks who may be lingering in the chat, here's a broad overview of what we have going on. Very expansive severe weather event. This is exactly what we had predicted. We had the cyclogenesis, or the genesis of our low, so this area of really intense activity is just going to continue to propagate off towards the east. We are back in a situation to where the southern halves of the states are going to be the most primed for severe weather activity like this. You extrapolate it forward. All this is going to be more stratiform in nature. You can tell that this is more light to moderate, steady rainfall, as opposed to this. This is a lot more convective in nature. You're well to the north into your more conditionally stable area of the jet of this synoptic scale feature. Whereas down here, you have a lot of really, I bet you if we were to switch over to windy.com here in a second, let's do that while we still have a chance. Whoops, I didn't mean to put down my chat. Let me open up Windy in another tab, and let's take a look at what our winds are doing around this system. Bet you 10 to 1, even at the surface, we'll see some really good inflow. Yep, right there. Whoa, I didn't mean to zoom in that much. It's not very, very strong, but if you guys look at our surface streamlines, look at how there's a corridor of stronger winds right in through here. Same thing down in Texas where those storms are firing. Take a look at this. You can see a little bit of an increase in your surface wind flow as it goes head first into your frontal boundary. There's the front right there. So yeah, that overlay on radar Omega is dorked up. That's the one thing that I don't like, especially when I have to brief it for certain updates. This synoptic analysis is very old, because if you switch back over to our windy.com, you can see where your low pressure system is. And in fact, it looks like it's starting to move through Illinois, if not strengthen into Illinois. We have a low pressure center in central eastern Illinois, and that's where all of your main activity is going to continue to propagate. Let's go up to 850. Actually, let's just go to 925, see what the winds do at 925. Yeah, there you go. There's your low-level jet. Don't even need to go to 850. You can already see that low-level wind component right along the leading edge of it. And, of course, Florida and the East Coast are just not wanting to play. We are out of the ballpark. Oh, God. And now, going back to talking hurricane season, I am not pulling any punches. I've been commenting on Mike's weather page. I've been commenting on the Weather Channel, Jim Cantori's posts, because people are just getting stupid with their comments about the hurricane season. I'm about to write back right now. And honestly, it's getting to the point now where I respond to comments like that, and in my mind, as I'm writing my comment, I realize I'm preaching to the choir, and that's literally what I just replied to this person. I'm preaching to the choir. They don't care. They don't want to hear it. Because I mentioned to somebody that last year, a lot of the big names who are predicting a very, very elevated risk for tropical activity in the Atlantic, they keep saying, oh, but nothing happened, so there were no storms. Nothing happened, and no one, they didn't make landfall. It's like, yes, but if people really need to realize that there are different variables. When we forecast activity, the name implies storms. Period. There's a difference between forecasting landfalls and forecasting activity, and I'm getting so frustrated with people constantly blurring the lines between the two. There's a difference between a named storm and landfalls. No professional weather entity on Earth is going to be able to predict 20 or more landfalls to the T. No one is going to be able to do that. And Weather Florida Man, that is a fantastic picture that you just sent me. I see it in Instagram right now. That is gorgeous. I really wish I could be seeing all this myself in action. It just doesn't hit the same sitting here on a computer. But anyways, let's go up to 850 so we can see our low-level jet component, and there's the main reason why we have such robust activity going on out there. You are closest to your low pressure, so you have a lot of really good 300 and 500 millibar vorticity right in through this quadrant. If you notice, you stack down towards the surface, 850, we have a very good low-level wind component that's going to help to increase our vertical shear and our warm air advection down in the low-mid levels of the environment. So this is going to be your severe weather quadrant, and also notice that we get a little bit of an acceleration in the winds right where those little isolated areas of severe thunderstorms are already popping off in Mississippi. And then Texas is just doing its own thing. We actually have a little bit of what looks to be some cyclonic curvature at 850 right on top of where those cells are firing currently. I do see we have some folks joining us in the chat. Mick and Marley, thank you very much for joining us. It's good to see you. Zenful as well. Chris Mazel, thank you, thank you. Devil Charger, you're finally in the chat. Really good to see you. Daniel Lawson, nobody seems to mention the African dust for some reason. Daniel, you just hit another chord with me as well, because that's another thing I'm slowly but surely getting tired of. And I'm not saying this towards you, buddy. I'm not saying I'm tired of you or anything like that. But we have so many different variables out there, so many different sources telling so many different pieces of info, and it's annoying because now, just as you pointed out, Daniel, now because people are bringing this up, everyone's over here saying, oh, well, see, nothing's going to happen. It's all hype because of the dust. Last year, it was hype because of El Nino. This year, it's hype because of the dust. It's like, Do y'all realize that there are at least 50 different variables that I could probably write down for you guys that go into the forecasting of everything involved with a tropical cyclone? It's not one way or the other. It's not that way or the highway. You know, we're going to have dust out there, yes. Is that going to suffocate the hurricane season? Absolutely not. Look at last year. Last year we had two variables, big variables that should have shut down the season, and we had the fourth most active in history. You know, last year should have been a dud. Last year we should have had like 5 storms, and we had 2021. Now this year we have everything else besides a smaller, more stringent variable, the dust, that could possibly light us up like 04, 05, 2020, 2017, etc. Which leads me right into a wonderful segue. I have made contact with Mr. Mark Suddeth on HurricaneTrack.com, and we are going to be starting to work together to produce some content for you guys here very soon. We're going to start a collaborative series, hopefully, very soon, which I'm very excited about. I'm actually super excited about that, and hopefully we will see on Tuesday when I go to the Meteorological Summit here in Orlando and I can meet Mike's weather page as well. Maybe I can instigate a line of communication with him as well. We shall see. I think this is now the perfect time to start opening avenues of communication with all these other weather sources. So Mark Suddeth and I are in communication. We are talking offline, and he is very open to collaboration, and I actually felt very good that even though I had mentioned to him, look, if it sounds like I'm self-promoting, as some people have accused me of in the past, for some strange reason, then forgive me. We don't even have to do anything on video. We can just talk offline. I would love to get some of your knowledge. I'd love to hear some of your expertise and just kind of discuss things and come to a general agreement. And he said, absolutely open to collaborating. I think it'd be great. And I told him, let me know what your schedule looks like, because I know you have the Hail Project going on and a bunch of other things as we get ready for hurricane season. So I'm at the mercy of your schedule, but he is very open to it and super stoked to collaborate as well. And he wants to start doing more of those things with other weather sources. And I'm personally over the moon that I got a response from him, and the fact that I know he has a ton of other resources in the weather department. And hopefully I can also open up lines of communication with them after we make this collaboration process come to fruition. So this could be possibly a wonderful thing for the hurricane season for both of our audiences. We can kind of unite and just start spreading the good message for everybody. This way there isn't a whole bunch of weird, misconflicting information out there. So we have severe activity happening in Tennessee, Kentucky as well, just to the south of our warm frontal boundary. And now we have a few different things that are going on, and I'll kind of talk you through. Oh, it looks like they extended the tornado warning down here in Texas as well. Let's take a little tour down here and see what we see. It's headed right towards, and look at that. Yep, called it. Looks like she's finally back towards us. There it is. It's shifting towards the southeast. It's going to run parallel to the highway. I got to message Nick. There we go. I wish I could be his co-pilot right now, because we would have called that right on the money as well. Soon as it started to get back and reorient with the flow, it's now moving directly towards Lampasas, Texas, and it's actually headed towards, what is this? Round Rock, Pflugerville. This looks like a bit more of an urbanized area. Oh, it's Austin. Okay. So they're trying to make a run on Austin, but I don't think they're going to make it that far. Don't think that they're going to make it that far. Oh, down here in the southwest, just to the south of San Saba. And thank you very much, guys. Yeah, I definitely appreciate that. I'm very excited. He's someone I've wanted to collaborate with for a while, and I know that he is essentially an encyclopedia on tropical weather. I was watching some of his old videos back in the day about Hurricane Charlie, Hurricane Francis, Hurricane Jean, Tropical Storm Bonnie, Hurricane Katrina, and all those bad boys from back in the old 2000 era. That's looking insane. This guy right here. What radar am I on? Why does this look so crappy? That's why. Now, the problem here is, and I know we only have 18 people in the chat right now. For the very first time in this channel's history, to tell you the truth, we actually have more likes than we have viewers. We cannot have, this is a rule of thumb in Air Force weather, we cannot have simultaneous warnings bundled. Tornado warnings, lightning warnings, we cannot have them bundled. So we also cannot neglect that even though we have this line of tornado warnings, we likely have incredible straight-line convective winds occurring at the same time. Look at this. Those values are well within the 50 to 70 mile an hour threshold. So on top of the tornado threat, we more than likely have very strong and damaging straight-line winds occurring at the same time. So everybody in front of this line, from Hillsborough, Effingham, all the way down to the south, let me get the radar image out of the way, towards Chester and St. Genevieve, you're all going to be looking at some kind of a taste of this storm, what this thing has to offer. And it's going to be screaming across the southern half of Illinois. And I don't think these storms are going to move up much further to the north as well. Before we get ready to cut the live stream, let's head on over to some of our weather data. Let's go to the weather models, and let's take a look at what is influencing this environment. Because I think that even though we are in April, we are starting to see a little bit of a pseudo... what's the word I'm looking for? Monsoon setup that's really going to help to open up the Gulf of Mexico. Maybe not so much. Not just yet. Not just yet. We have a little bit of a subtropical ridge that's down there that's really helping to amp up the pattern just a little bit. But 500 millibars doesn't look extremely impressive. We probably have to go back down towards the 850 millibar level, to tell you the truth. We'll go down to the surface, though, to take a quick peek. So there's our current system that's just going to continue to balloon up towards the east-northeast, screaming across the Midwest, the lower Great Lakes, into the northeast, before that low appendage gets pulled up by our barotropic system that worked its way over James Hudson Bay in Canada, centered over western Quebec at this point in time on Saturday. Oh, I'm so thankful that tomorrow is Friday. Wow, I apologize. I'm so thankful that tomorrow is Friday, guys. Even though I have to be up extremely early, it's going to be such a long day. I can feel it. Oh, look at that. People are going to start hyping that thing off of the southeast. Tropical Storm Vince. I can't keep a straight face whenever we bring that up. There he is, right there. Boom. Off the southeast Carolina coast. Tropical Storm Vince on April 23rd. Oh, Lord, that's going to be an insider that just carries on with this channel for years and years to come. So, Lord willing, after this, we're going to see a small window of a break of our... So, actually, you know what? Never mind. Not really. We're not really going to. There's going to be quite a bit of bleed over. And, in fact, I'm surprised that Storm Prediction Center doesn't have anything highlighted for Texas and Louisiana, the Dixie Alley area, because that already looks like it's going to be a return to form for this severe weather right there. Yep, and then even more Cape begins to build in. Wow, look at that. Texas is going to be the hot spot. Big time hot spot in Texas. That is for certain. Let's go over to tropical tidbits. The tidbits of the tropics. I know Vince is going to keep fighting for his chance. It's going to be 2030, and Vince is going to be popping back up. As a matter of fact, you know what? I feel so bad for doing this because we're derailing the chat right now, but we're in a very low-key environment right now. We only have 20 people watching, give or take. So let's see. Hurricane season names. Let's see if in the next few years is Vince going to make a comeback. Let's see. Do we have Vince? There he is in 2029, guys. So we just got to survive the next 5 years, and in 2029, he's going to... Oh, whoa, yeah, look. That's the same list. I just realized that. Wow, we're going to have the same list in 2029 all over again. There they all are. They're coming back. We got all the names that weren't retired last year. There's even Ididdly-Doodah again. There's Lee, good old Lee, who just never seemed to go away. Franklin still hasn't been retired yet. There's Gert. And then there he is. We'll have to see what 2029 we got to see what 2029 brings, guys. Maybe 5 years from now, if we're all, Lord willing, still here, we'll finally be able to sit down and say, Tropical Storm Vince, for real. So we just got to wait another 5 years. We got to see exactly, well, technically 6, but I already consider 2024 pretty much right on top of us since it's right there. You know, we're well within the month and a half mark at this point. But yeah, 5 years now, and we have Vince coming back around, coming full circle, and then we'll have I Diddly Doodah again. We can talk about Idalia again. Lord willing, by 2029, though, I'll be on television, and my dreams will have come to fruition. So, you know, Lord willing, I'm giving that up to you, God. I'm going with you. But yeah, there's a lot of familiar names I see on here. Now that I look at it, there's Barry, there's Dexter, big, whatchamacallit. I remember Aaron, like the back of my hand. Umberto, I remember a lot. Imelda has to be a new name. I feel like that's a replacement name. Lorenzo, I remember Lorenzo from the past. Nestor, Olga, Rebecca, I definitely remember. Let's see, who else? Paulette, I definitely remember. Faye, for sure. Dolly, Cristobal, Bertha, I definitely remember all those names. Gonzalo, I definitely remember Old Storms. Claudette, I definitely remember back in the day. As a matter of fact, I see 2027 Fred. I have to show you guys something. I'm going to expose myself really quick on the YouTube. But there's an old video of back when I was in the service, and I was joking around. I believe it was back in 2021 we had Fred out there. Let me see if I can find it. I think even back then I was talking about the tropical storms and whatnot. I got to see if I can find it. I know exactly which video it is. I look like such an idiot, too. You can tell I was still in the military. Let's see, is it around here? Come on. I hope it's still around here. It should still be around here. This is October. I think we've gone too far. Let's see. And I know I'm very, very flagrantly holding up the stream right now. I just want to show you guys that even back then I was being silly with the hurricanes and the tropical storms. Let's see. Where is it? It should be around here somewhere. This is when I was in Florida. Oh, yeah, here it is.
Being a baby with her peace sign and whatnot. We're out here not really doing anything of any concern right now. There aren't any storms to chase. Tropical storm Fred is slowly bearing down on the peninsula of Florida. Tropical storm concern right now.
I got to add that in 2027 when Tropical Storm Fred comes through, I got to add that in.
Anything of any concern right now. There aren't any storms to chase. Tropical storm Fred is slowly bearing down.
Tropical Storm Fred. What a name. What a guy. Tropical Storm Fred. Oh, yeah, I remember Isaias as well. Good old Tropical Storm Fred. What a guy. Good old Fred. All right, everybody, let's get back on track. We had a couple laughs. There we go. Let's get back to business. Look at how this is really badly blowing out right here. They slowly are, yeah. We're all meshing together, but we have a really good loop pattern going on. Line echo wave pattern right there. Even the wave pattern is kind of trended down just a little bit. We are starting to approach nightfall, though. The sun is almost down, so we're going to start going into that period to where to where the surface of the earth is going to start to cool. All this rain is going to help to cool us off a little bit. Still have that tornado warning going on down here in Texas. These storms are looking very weird. They're disassociating each other. They're disassociating one another. Why can I not talk? They are disassociating with one another. There we go. Good, dear Heavenly Father. Wow. What is it doing? Weather Florida, man, we need more context. It's doing it! I just envision you screaming that. We need more context, buddy. What is it doing? I remember Isaac, that storm was supposed to take the whole entire Gulf of Mexico, which it did, but it was elongated due to wind shear. Oh, yeah, definitely. Amanda, welcome in. Thank you very much for joining us. We were just talking about how 5 years from now we'll have another shot at seeing Tropical Storm Vince. Are there any other names on here that I remember? Here's the old 2004 list. What a shame. I low-key miss Charlie. I wish I could see Charlie on here again, just for old time's sake, but we now have Colin. Colin is the replacement for Charlie, because I know this is exactly the same list for certain that hit in 2004. Bonnie was the tropical storm that hit just as Charlie was forming, and then Charlie has been officially retired, and we now have Colin. Doesn't sound nearly the same. I remember Danielle. I remember Earl. Farah was Francis, so she's gone. Gaston has always been there. Hermine has always been there. Idris was Ivan, for my folks in the Panhandle. Idris, I'm going to roast Idris Elba. If I'm a meteorologist by then, I'm going to call out Idris Elba and tag him on social media or something like that. We have Idris, and then Carl. Julia was Jean. Hurricane Francis and Jean. We had Jean there as well. And I think that's it. I don't recall any other major storms from that year. I just remember Charlie, Francis, Ivan, Jean, and that's it. Those are the big ones that stand out to me. I think the typical American named tropical storms like Bob, Jim, Terry, Betty, Roger. I hope we never see H, Irate, Hurricane Loco, Hurricane Splode. Yeah, Idalia is being used again. She wasn't retired last year, so Idalia is going to circle back around, and that scares me. Mother Nature's probably going to be hella mad about that. In fact, Idalia herself might be pissed about that and come back in without that eye wall replacement cycle happening and nail us. Just like I'm truly wondering if Isaac this year is going to continue the eye curse for Florida. I really do wonder that. We shall see. But all right, folks, we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut this very bizarre live stream, especially while things are kind of going into a bit of a hiatus up there. I mean, sort of, not really. But I'm going to take some time, give some time back to myself. And Idalia is the Irma replacement. Oh, really? Okay, I did not know that. But yeah, folks, we're going to start getting ready to cut the stream. We don't have too many people in here. I'll leave it to the streamers who can host full 12-hour shifts on their channels. I cannot personally do that, unfortunately, and I know, and I apologize for that. I wish I could. I wish there was a way, but I can't. And tomorrow I have to be up at around 3 a.m. local time. So I really can't afford to stay on here too much longer, as much as I do apologize for that. If I do happen to get home early enough, I can try to jump on another live stream here tomorrow morning before work, especially since it is Friday. Typically, the way I roll is if I'm exhausted, I want to at least make it to Friday, because then at least I know I'm exhausted, but I can sleep in and go to sleep whenever I want and just kind of rest and recoup. So folks, we're going to go ahead and wrap the live stream. I wanted to actually do a bit more of a forecast briefing. I didn't anticipate entirely that all this was going to happen as I was getting off work. So we caught it just in time. We did a little bit of a live discussion. And yeah, we will definitely, we will reconvene again very soon. It looks like we might get another tornado-warned storm down there into Missouri. It looks like just to the west of Fredericktown, we have a nice little V-notched supercell that's trying to do something with a spectacular hail core of reflectivities. And I want to say I'm sorry, everybody. I want to end it on a very professional and formal note. Tonight was a little bit more ab-libbed. We started out serious, and then we had a little bit of laughs with, Vince and Fred and the hurricane season. And I know that that's very unbecoming of me as a weather source, and I do apologize for that. But at the same time, I only do that because I know that we're in a bit... Oh, there's a hail spike coming off of it, too. Look at that. We got a hail spike coming off of that. That thing's a gnarly system right there. Yeah, look at that. It's trying to spin up and do something. Same thing with the system upstream of it. But that cell is definitely blowing up. Gigantic. That's what you call a gorilla hail type of thunderstorm right there for certain. Especially when you get that hail spike popping off out of the top of the updraft like that. Those ice crystals are probably... And there it goes. There's another individual severe thunderstorm warning for it. Caught that just in time. But all right, guys, thank you all very much for watching. I will definitely keep you updated every step of the way, not only with my own updates, but also any kind of updates on the collaboration process with Mr. Mark Suddeth over at hurricanetrack.com. I'm sure all of you viewers are already familiar with the wonderful content that he puts out. I'm super excited that we have a line of communication open, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what him and I can put together alongside other weather sources who may want to jump aboard that train as we start to build some discussion and some really good collaboration for you guys as we approach the 2024 hurricane season. So hopefully this is only going to open up the opportunity for more of us to come together and congregate and just bring you guys as much of a fire hose of information as we can. So thank you all very much for watching. Happy Friday Eve. Please stay safe out there. Please tune into my Instagram and my TikTok. I will provide more hourly and more repetitive updates on there. It is a little bit more low thread, as I mentioned previously, than jumping on the lives, jumping on the YouTube channel, and putting things together on here. It'll be a lot easier to pump out updates, story posts, and just random blurbs on those social media platforms. So if you don't already follow me on there, TikTok, Instagram, etc., please drop me a follow. Go check me out on there as well. We're trying to grow. We're almost to 10,000 followers on TikTok, which I'm very excited about. So if you know more people, tell them to find me on here, find me on TikTok. My goal is to make 10,000 followers before the hurricane season so we can start to live stream with everybody. We can collaborate with everybody. We get that stream key and we can mesh TikTok and YouTube together. So TikTok is still growing. We're about maybe 1,700 some odd followers away from 10,000. We just hit the 8,000 follower threshold a couple days ago. I'm super grateful for you guys' support on there, for those of you who follow me, and I'm super thankful for the guys over there, all the different folks who are jumping on the Weather Center for sure. It's been a wonderful ride, and we're trying to slowly but surely build that momentum for the hurricane season and the rest of the severe weather season as we get ready to venture into the peak in early May. All right, I know that was an extended outro. That was almost as long as the full weather brief itself. I talked too much. We will talk to you all again very soon. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Thank you for being such an amazing audience as you always are. Please be safe. Please keep in touch, and we will talk to you again very soon. But until next time, guys, this is Weather Center Nazario signing out.